Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you tonight. First of all, congratulations to Mrs. Bolts. I am just inspired by your social conscience and your commitment to justice. So thank you for the work that you have done over all these many years. To Mr. White, Ms. Dowd, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Chorale. Thank you for reminding us that we are anchored in the Lord and for the reminder that we will still rise. And it has been a balm to my nerves, so thank you very much. Let me ask you guys a question. Is there anyone in here that has ever had the experience where you meet someone and they tell you something about yourself that several years later comes true, and you wonder, how did they know? Can I see a show of hands? Have any of you ever had that experience? It's kind of spooky, right? Well, Bishop Green knew. When he met my husband and me, probably about 15 years ago, that our work would extend well beyond the boundaries of the operating room and the examining room. So Bishop Green, I thank you. I thank you for your spiritual leadership. I thank you for that amazing introduction. You've continued to tell me things about myself that I don't know. I actually didn't realize that Onika meant I have brought joy to my Father's house. So thank you very much. I am so deeply humbled and honored to be here tonight. I thank the Dr. Martin Luther King Committee. I thank all of you, the town of Arlington, for this incredible honor. I thank Ms. Pearl Morrison. When I met her about a year ago, and she said to me that she would like for me to be the keynote speaker at this event, I was blown away. I had always been in such awe of Dr. King, so that to speak in commemoration of his life and legacy is like a dream come true. And I'm truly thankful to God for this opportunity. And you know, one of the many things that I love about God is that you ask and you will receive. So Pearl, tonight, I am going to donate 7 sets of my books to the elementary school libraries in Arlington so that you don't have to depend on just the offering to make it happen. I'd also like to thank my amazing husband and son, my parents, my family, my friends, my community for their unwavering support, and all of you for showing up here tonight and braving the elements to celebrate this wonderful occasion. One of the things that I value most about being a surgeon is the intersection between the science of medicine and the art of medicine. And you can see that that has continued to play out and manifest in my life as I integrate my work as a surgeon and my work as a children's book author. And was mentioned earlier.
They want me to pull this down a little bit.
Down?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yep. As was mentioned earlier, I created a girl super surgeon by the name of Dr. Didi Dynamo with these powers of positivity, who models for all children that there are no limits to what they can achieve. So in the words of Dr. Didi Dynamo tonight, I am charged up and ready to go. Now, for me, and I'm getting back to this art of medicine, to me the art of medicine is in establishing the connection to who the patient is, not simply the focus on the physical manifestation of their illness or disease. And why is this even relevant? I found that as I began to prepare for tonight, I actually began to view Dr. King as my patient. I wanted to uncover and connect to the inside of who he was. What was it that drove him and prepared him to be the visionary that changed American history? So, I invite you to take a trip back with me to the end of March 1968, 1 week before Dr. King was assassinated. And just imagine that he is having a doctor's appointment with me. Dr. King, I am Dr. Williams. I am so honored to meet you. What can I do for you today? Well, Dr. Williams, I am here because I have been having these dreams and visions that I cannot separate from reality. It's confounding me. So I am seeking your medical expertise, Dr. Williams. I keep seeing a mountaintop and a land that looks like a promised land. And it seems so real, Dr. Williams. I keep having this recurring dream where I see my 4 black children holding hands with little white children and being judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Dr. Williams, I have a dream where I see black people and white people and all people living together in harmony, where peace and equality and justice reigns. Even more bizarre, I have this dream of slaves and slaveholders sitting together at the table of brotherhood. And Dr. Williams, I don't know what it all means. Dr. King, these dreams sound wonderful. Definitely removed from the reality of this time. When did this start? Did you have these dreams as a child? Dr. Williams, I don't remember dreaming as a child. I grew up in a household where my father was a pastor. He pastored a large church, and he fought tirelessly for the rights and the equality for the Negroes. He was even the head of the NAACP at one time. As I grew, I became aware of the segregation and the injustices of our city. But I never dreamed, Dr. Williams, that I would lead a civil rights movement. And Dr. Williams, I thought that I might be a doctor or I might be a lawyer, but I finally decided that I would follow in the footsteps of my father and decided to be a pastor. So Dr. Williams, I left and I went off to pursue my studies. And while in Boston, at the Boston University School of Divinity, I met my wife. And the only dreams I had at that time, Dr. Williams, was of graduating and having a job and taking care of my family. So I returned to the South, to the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And I became the pastor in Montgomery, Alabama. And Dr. Williams, I remember so distinctly December 1st, 1955. when a woman by the name of Rosa Parks decided that she had had enough, and she refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white passenger. And that sparked the Montgomery Boy Bus Club because there was a huge outcry in the black community. And Dr. Williams, I was so inspired by Rosa Parks that when I was approached and asked to be the spokesperson for the Montgomery Bus Boycott and the president of the Montgomery Improvement Association, I said yes. And it was then that the dream started, Dr. Williams. And they continue almost every day since then. Dr. King, is there anything else that happens at the time of these dreams? Any other symptoms? Dr. Williams, sometimes I will feel sweaty. Sometimes my heart will pound and race, and I have this feeling of impending doom. Why do you think that is, Dr. King? Dr. Williams, there are those who see my dreams as so far from reality that they think that I'm crazy. Dr. Williams, they think that I am a troublemaker. And I think that there are those, I know that there are those who want to see me dead. Dr. King, this sounds incredibly stressful. Is there anything in your work that brings you joy? Dr. Williams, there are many times that I feel down. I have felt down so many times over the years. But somehow, there's something on the inside. I don't know why. I don't know how. But there's something that gives me this inner sense of assurance and security. Almost a sense of cosmic companionship that makes the feelings of loneliness and fear fade away and replace with joy. This loneliness and fear fades away because of my commitment to a moral ideal. Dr. Williams, I am really happy. Dr. King, I am so happy to hear that. Is there anything else that brings you joy? Well, Dr. Williams, let me give that some more thought. My family brings me immense joy. My wife is so loving and supportive. And moreover, Dr. Williams, I do believe that this problem of inequality and injustice can be served if more people devote their lives to breaking barriers that separate man based on the color of their skin. And that brings me joy, Dr. Williams. And Dr. Williams, I do believe that I am doing God's work. I am walking by faith, Dr. Williams. And that brings me joy. I get it, Dr. King. I completely understand. Okay, so let's take a quick pause from our visit with Dr. King. So what do you think he had? What was his diagnosis? What was wrong with him? What was it that he had on the inside that catapulted him into greatness? What I discovered was that Dr. King had a classic case of PJS, Positivity Joy Syndrome, described by none other than my esteemed colleague, Dr. Dee Dynamo. Dr. King met all of the 5 diagnostic criteria. One, he believed that there was a problem, that there was a solution. Two, if he confronted a limit, he converted it into an opportunity. Three, if he was faced with positive and negative, he kept the positive and he discarded the negative. Four, he knew that he had a God-given purpose, and it was intimately linked to caring for his fellow man. And five, he was thankful, and he believed that there were no limits. So let's resume our visit with Dr. King. Dr. King, I have a diagnosis. You have positivity joy syndrome. You are filled with immense joy. You understand that there is something on the inside, something that is selfless, something that connects to something greater than yourself. And that thing is joy. You have a divine and unending supply, a reservoir, a joy tank, if you will, so that even when external circumstances cloak you with despair, causes you unhappiness and sorrow because of man's inhumanity to man, you remain anchored to joy. So these are not delusions, Dr. King. Your dreams are filled with hope and love of your fellow man. Positivity joy syndrome has no cure. So keep on dreaming, Dr. King. Does this make sense to you? Do you have any questions for me? Dr. Williams, a huge weight has lifted. I thank you so much. This makes complete sense. Dr. King, it was my pleasure to serve you. May God continue to bless you and protect you. So, Dr. King had positivity joy syndrome. This caused me to stop and reflect. What does it mean for me? What does it mean for you? It was positivity joy syndrome that allowed Dr. King to reach into his reservoir of joy, to dare to dream big, delusional dreams in a time where injustice, discrimination, inequality, and injustice were the standard. Then what are we called to do today? If he could dream those dreams at a time like that, what are we called to do today? At a time when we are plagued with an unhealthy and dysfunctional government, where our democracy is at risk, where greed and the pursuit of power seems to triumph over the well-being of the common man, where the weight of uncertainty is pulling us into an abyss of hopelessness, where the same light from the torch held high in Lady Liberty's hand that welcomed so many of us to these shores is being extinguished by the human rights atrocities occurring at our very own borders. At a time where the complete disregard for truth has become the new norm and has woven itself into the fabric of our very existence so that it has become indistinguishable from all that we know to be moral and just and right. And yet, Dr. King dared to dream. Overcome with positivity joy syndrome, he dared to dream. And so, too, should we. What would have happened if Dr. King never dreamed? Never dreamed those dreams that transformed our lives. Because he dared to dream a world where we are judged not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. We had the first African American president, President Barack Obama. Dr. King challenged us that justice and dignity and equality and respect and opportunities and excellence and humanity should have no color. So I want to be so affected by positivity joy syndrome that I dare to dream a world whereby forging the connection between positivity, unlimited mindset, science, technology, engineering, art, math, and literacy, that I and we will engage our children in a realm of infinite possibilities. I dare to dream a world where at a young age our children will develop an unlimited mindset, which translates into an appreciation for the things we have in common rather than our differences. I dare to dream that all children will connect to a brown girl superhero and value her, not just based on what is on the surface, but based on the common values and the beliefs that reside in her heart that connect us in our quest for peace, equality, and justice. I dare to dream that in connection with a character like Dr. Dee Dynamo, the imprinting that occurs eliminates unconscious bias, negative stereotypes, and belief system. I dare to dream that as a positivity catalyst, that positivity converts all that already exists in our young people to help them to believe that they too can live a life without limits, which is really helping them to understand that they have a joy tank on the inside that will fuel their dreams. What do you dare to dream? Do you dare to dream a world where cancer is cured, where there are no more wars and peace reigns? Do you dare to dream a world where there is end to world hunger? Do you dare to dream the healing of our planet based on our choices that will reverse the effects of climate change? Do you dare to dream a world where violence against women ceases to exist and where all of the world's children have access to clean water and quality education? Do you dare to dream a world where our Black husbands, fathers, sons, uncles, nephews are not senselessly gunned down in our streets? Do you want to be overtaken with positivity joy syndrome so that you can dare to dream that even if you have no money, that you can start your own business? That even if you've never graduated from high school, you can aspire to have a higher education? Do you dare to dream that when the voices around you say that you cannot, you say, yes, I can? Do you dare to dream a world where our voices are enough to change the way the generations think? My voice, your voice. To dream like Dr. King and to know that we have the ability and the capacity to effect and create change. So just as he changed the world forever, so too can we. We all have the same reservoir of joy that Dr. King had. Our joy tanks, full of joy that fuels our dreams. So I encourage you to create a mental image. Draw it on paper. What does your joy tank look like? What is in it? I know what's in mine. May I share it with you? Yes, yes, yes. have a joy tank, a tank full of joy that's bubbling on the inside like my favorite toy. It's a gift from heaven, a flame burning bright that never goes out even if a fierce wind blows with all of its might. My joy tank is full. It's overflowing, you see. There is enough joy in it for you and for me. How do I get to my joy tank? How do I make it flow? From the inside to the outside, so everyone will know that when things are good or when things are bad, my joy tank is full, even when I'm sad. I connect 5 hoses to my joy tank, positivity ones with ease, and I open them full blast, like waves of joy on the high seas, for joy is the center of my soul. It's a place of power that keeps me whole, that touches and cares for all people and places, and gives courage and grit and hopeful faces. It helps me stand for what is right and hold my head high and shine my light brightly for the world to see, like Dr. Martin Luther King did so inspirationally. So no bombs or bullets or bitter words can destroy your joy tank. Haven't you heard? His shining example makes it clear. Our joy tanks are indestructible. So step out and dare to dream and make a difference, big or small. You can do it. There are no limits at all. So tonight, on this 51st year of Dr. Martin Luther King's death, and the 31st year of the town of Arlington celebrating his life and legacy, I challenge you to dare to dream. It does not matter that it is bitterly cold outside. I am burning up with the fever of positivity joy syndrome. I want it to spread like an epidemic from this room to the town of Arlington, to this state, to the country, to the universe and beyond. And when we are all filled with the feeling, when we are all filled with positivity and joy, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we will be free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we will be free at last. Thank you.